Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, you guys know how much I love focus groups. I think they can be very valuable in providing insight that polls just can't. And so, today I have the results from multiple focus groups for you that I've been watching. First up are focus groups conducted by Engageus. The first one was done the day out, or there were two groups. These were done the day after the debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. So, really good. They were from Georgia. These are swing voters. These are people who voted for Trump in 2016. Then they went to Biden in 2020. They asked them their party registration. In this group, there were 3 Democrats, 8 independents, and no registered Republicans. But some of them leaned Republican. Some of them were very much conservatives, and they made that known. The top issue by far for the majority of these people was inflation, the cost of living. They asked them, did you watch the debate? 6 out of the 11 watched all or most of the debate. 4 out of the 11 watched some, which meant at least 30 minutes. And then 1 out of the 11 said, no, I didn't watch any of it. Of course, that was the most uninformed person in the entire focus groups. So they asked who won the debate. 7 said Harris won. Only 1 said that Trump had won. The other people said, I don't really have an opinion. Don't know. I mean, how much more obvious could that have been? Then they asked them, did the debate change your vote? Not a single person said yes. So the top emotion was asked, what is the main emotion that you feel that Kamala Harris evokes in you when you see her? Not what she's thinking or feeling, but what you feel when you see her. 2 people said proud, 1 said hopeful, 1 reassured, intrigued, studious, apprehensive, uncertainty. 2 of them said disappointment. 1 said optimism. They then asked Trump versus Harris, if you had to vote today, no other choices, who would you vote for? 4 of them said, I would go back to Trump. 7 said Harris. So, good, but can't believe 4 would actually go back to the maniac. 5 out of the 11 of these people said that they were more enthusiastic about voting now that Harris is the candidate. They also, this was pretty interesting, they asked them, do you think that Harris, being the president, if she was to win, that she would just be an extension of Biden's policies? Would it just be the same old, what you've had for the last 4 years or 3.75 years? None of them said yes. None of them said that they would feel that way. 2 of them did blame Harris for Biden's policies, which is funny since vice presidents don't set policy. But those 2 people are 2 people who are going back to Trump. So there you go. So the next focus group that I watched is a panel of Michigan voters. So these were 7 participants in this group. It was all young men, and they all said at the front of the, at the beginning of this focus group, they're leaning toward Harris, but they weren't all there yet. They had not made up their mind. All of them said, though, if they vote for Harris, it would not be a pro-Harris vote. It would be an anti-Trump vote. So they were asked also, what word comes to mind when you think of Kamala Harris? Pretty good answers. They said strong, power hungry. 2 of them said politician. Those weren't too great. Corporatist, which is also not great, but 1 said energetic. And then they were asked, what word comes to mind when you think of Trump? One of the answers I couldn't make out, but these were really bad. 2 of them said fascist. 1 said bigot. 1 said controversy. Another said idiot. Another said egotist. And then they asked them, if you had to spend 30 minutes at a bar with either one of these people, Harris or Trump, which one would you choose? Every single one of the 7 said that they would prefer to spend time with Harris. And when they asked them why, the primary answer was that it would give them a chance to learn more about her. And that's something that keeps coming up in focus groups, that people say that they don't know enough about her, which here's my issue with that. If you talk with these people and you ask them, and I've seen this over and over again, did you watch the Democratic National Convention? No. Did you watch the debate? No, or I watched some of it, right? Have you watched any of her speeches? No. Have you watched any of her rallies? No. Well, if you want to know more, why aren't you availing yourself of that information? Like, what do you think she's going to come to your home and sit down with you over dinner? I mean, like, where do these people think that they're going to get this information? It's just maddening. So anyway, 4 of these men said they might not vote at all. So that's not good. Yet the moderator then showed them 2 different videos. So there was one of Trump attacking Harris, and then the other was of Harris attacking Trump. 3 of these men, after watching those videos, said the videos made them more likely to vote for Harris because it reminded them of how incoherent and unprofessional Trump is. They used different words, but that was the gist of it. So there you go. We'll see what happens with that. Again, that was all men, all in Michigan, young men. In another focus group of men and women, this was men and women in swing states. So Nevada, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and North Carolina. They were absolutely brutal in their one word or phrase about Trump. These are people who voted for Biden in 2020, but they're undecided right now in this race, or they, at least at the beginning, they were of this focus group, which I'll explain. So here's how they described Trump. Unstable, kind of a clown, patriotic, idiot, self-centered, know-it-all, self-centered but focused, not on this planet. Egomaniac, condescending, wealthy jerk, narcissist, money hungry, aspiring dictator, and explosive. So the comments about Harris were much better, but the underlying sentiment, again, was I don't know enough about her to commit to her. So here's the words and phrases they used for Harris. Unpredictable, tough and intelligent, curious, down to earth, friendly, relatable working class woman. One said, I believe she has a heart, so heartfelt maybe. Another one said, I wonder what she's like when she's mad. She's a former prosecutor. Another one said, really determined. One said, wishy-washy, optimistic but inexperienced, driven and ethical, approachable, and boring. Here's one thing that gets me with the people who go, oh, well, she has no experience. She's inexperienced. I mean, first of all, unless you've been the president, you don't have experience as the president, right? Only 46 people now have been the president. Or less than that, because some have had 2 terms, obviously. So you have, less than 4 dozen people in the entire world have the experience to be president because they've been president. So, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, right? It's not like, having experience in another field. The other thing that just, it makes me realize that sexism is absolutely a factor in this. She has more experience than Barack Obama had. He was a senator for 1 or 2 terms, and then he became president. She was and he was an attorney before that. So if you put them side by side, he was an attorney, she was a prosecutor of the largest state in the country. He became a senator, she became a senator. He became a president. She became a vice president. I would argue she has more experience than Barack Obama had, and he did a pretty good job. I mean, I have some issues with him and some things that he did. I don't like his droning of innocent people. I don't like how he handled the mortgage collapse. But overall, I mean, and if you poll people, he is one of the most popular presidents of all time. So to say that she's inexperienced, but yeah, I'm okay with him, and I liked him even, it just doesn't add up unless you're sexist. Interestingly, only 3 of these people thought that Trump was going to win the election. So they asked, not who you want to win, but who do you think will win? 3 of them said Trump, all the others said Harris. That was not the case. If you asked people between Trump and Biden in these focus groups, over and over and over again, they were saying Trump was going to win. So huge shift there. And then several of the men, which I was surprised with, they said they really warmed up to the idea of Harris as president, but at first they didn't really care for her. They thought that she was a bad candidate or a bad choice. And they're like, yeah, she's actually really won me over. So that was good. Also, not a single one of these people wished that Biden was still the nominee. So very telling. The good news is that by the end of this focus group, the moderator asked who was truly still undecided, and only 3 people raised their hands. And I have to mention this because it just was infuriating. There was one man, this guy, so obviously sexist. It was this man from North Carolina. He complained that Harris said that young people today are stupid. The guy said, oh, this offended me because my daughter is in the age group that she was referring to. And, basically she said my daughter's stupid. Yet, later in the focus group, this same guy made the most sexist comment that, well, I think, and other people always say that men use logic to make decisions. Women make decisions from emotion. I mean, beyond the insulting nature of that statement and how it is so very much not true, isn't he saying that his daughter is illogical and emotional? So you're pissed off at Kamala Harris for fictitiously saying, not true, which I'll explain, but saying, oh, young people are stupid, but you're calling your daughter illogical and overly emotional. Really? Seriously, guy? And, to make a blanket sexist generalization about half of the population, I mean, tell me you're single without telling me you're single. Right, ladies? Guarantee guy's not married. Not with that attitude. And if he is, she is a complete and total doormat. Also, as I said, not entirely true. So Harris did make that statement about 18 to 24-year-olds, but they take it out of context because she was talking about kids who committed crimes. And she was talking about the benefit of programs to help reduce recidivism. So totally out of context, talking about specific young people that age, and guess what? Yeah, overall, even those of us who are smart do and say some pretty dumb shit at that age. It's because our brains aren't fully developed. It's not an insult. It's biological fact, right? So get over it. But it's total hypocrite. And of course, he's one of the ones who's really down on Kamala and leaning towards Trump. What a shock. Anyway, I will let you all know when I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.